That's the New Zealand batting earlier in the day. Only Fleming himself, and to a lesser degree Harrison Cairns, doing anything of note. So Bevan gets one away. Finally gets a run from McMillan's over. Still one ball to come in his second over of the spell, so figures of 1 for 2 so far, and that's what Australia need. 24 from 16 overs, so that sort of equation doesn't put a lot of fear in the Australian hearts anyway. Fleming going into slip now, just to add to the attacking field. And a nick and a drop catch, so Craig McMillan could easily have had his second wicket in his second over. 136 for 4. Well, Australia making a bit of hard work of the second part of their innings. They got away to a flying start through Mark Waugh and Adam Gilchrist and Ricky Ponting, but it's been all New Zealand in this last little piece. And Craig McMillan particularly causing problems. A big outside edge there from Lehman from the last ball of McMillan's over. Perore couldn't hang on to it. May have been a few tremors going through the Australian dressing room had he taken that catch, and all of a sudden they were 5 down. I still think the Australians would get through, but would have been a little bit more nerve-wracking. So a thick edge hitting the outside part of the glove. Not really Perore's fault when you're standing up, particularly to a medium pace bowler. If they get a thick edge like that, it really does have to hit the right part of the glove.
Very unusual thing Darren Lehman and other batsmen do these days, finishing up playing one hand. Difficult to imagine if there can be any advantage there, or why in fact they would let go with one hand. Possibly the gloves are slippery, but I've seen it happen on cold days as well. 22 from 15.2 overs. A bowling attack that looked well, not quite pedestrian, but not devastating either. Has suddenly assumed some more menacing proportions.
Well, Priest has done a pretty good job. He's played his part in slowing the Australians down. He's in his 9th over, hasn't taken a wicket yet, but none for 30 are reasonable figures under the circumstances. Bevan yet to hit one in the middle. 2 runs from the over, 138 for 4. Craig McMillan to continue his spell. He's been giving the left-handers a bit of a workout. And last over, he caused some problems for Bevan. First of all, second to Bevan, with a smile on the face, and then to Lehman this over. He's finally been hit through the covers. That was what Lehman was trying to do last over when he got a thick outside edge that Perore couldn't hang on to.
Slightly slower ball there from McMillan. Won't do Lehman any harm to have some batting practice out there. Main thing is he needs to be there when the winning runs are hit. Nice for him to hit them himself, but just to be there and get a bit of experience for matches later this week in the Coca-Cola Cup. Another slower ball, faster off the bat this time.
McMillan perhaps a little bit overconfident after his last over, really mixing them up in this over. The leg break this time, wide and full, and Lehman is a very strong player in that area. And with this fast outfield, there was really no point chasing it other than to bring it back for the bowler to try again. Off cutter again, which is his more standard fare. The leg break really a rather ambitious exercise, and one which was probably brought about by the fact that he's been causing some problems for the left-handers, but mainly with the one that's cutting away. to the offside. Yep. 9 runs this time from McMillan's bowling. Australia 147 for 4. Night shopping in Sharjah, just over the road from the Sharjah Stadium. Might be a couple of runs here, whether it was off the bat or not. Possibly even a wide down the leg side. He's given it as a leg bye, so adds to the Australian total at least. 12 runs required. The ball pitching and turning slightly just off the outside of the leg. Priest in the last over of his 10. None for 30 so far. 12 runs from 13.5 overs. No real pressure on the Australians, and maybe that's contributed to the fact that the last part of the innings has been a little less conclusive than the first part, where the Australian batsmen dominated, particularly Ponting and Gilchrist. And that's gone straight back past the bowler. Full toss. Michael Bevan very, very handy at getting rid of those. He doesn't miss the opportunity on this occasion. Tries to go down the ground again and does so more forcefully on this occasion. The previous one was a waist-high full toss, which under some circumstances may have been caught and bowled, but Mark Priest unable to get a hand to the first one, and this one beats everyone. 4 required by the Australians now. Will it be this over? Here he comes down the ground, and that's it for the Australians. A very emphatic victory here in the second of the series of matches for the triangular series. 36.5 overs the Australians took to get the 160 they needed for victory. Handshakes all around. Michael Bevan finishing it off with a flurry of boundaries. 3 in a row from the bowling of Mark Priest. Rather destroyed his figures and destroyed any hope the New Zealanders had. So the Australians win by 6 wickets in the second of these matches, India having won the first. Australia defeating New Zealand. New Zealand winning the toss. Fleming winning the toss for New Zealand. Scored 159 in their 48.4 overs. Fleming top scoring for them, and Damien Fleming doing the best of the bowling for the Australians. 4 for 28. Warne 2 for 28 and Moody 1 for 16. The Australians replied very strongly. 160 for 4 in 36.5 overs. Gilchrist a very good 57 and Ponting 52. Ponting's had a big night. He's won $1,000 so far this evening. 500 of it coming from the MRF company for this shot, which went through the MRF tyre tunnel there, straight through the world-class radio. And then he won himself another $500 for the most sixes hit in the game. That was the first one over the mid-wicket area, and that went a long way back into the stand. Young lad waiting for it there. Mark Priest, the bowler, and the sweep shot this time straight over the backward square leg boundary. And to top it all off, Ricky Ponting's had a pretty good day because he qualifies at the moment for the fastest 50 in 63 balls.
Well, there we are, a pretty happy Australian side, and they've had their victory over New Zealand today, and we look forward to tomorrow's match here in Sharjah, which is the game between India and Australia. Should be a great crowd and a great game. We look forward to your company then.